Why hello there, fellow Parisians. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Town to City. Episode 5, Vineyards, Wineries, and Bakeries. I'm sure our workplaces are totally devoid of beauty. I can fix that. That warehouse is now prettyified. So this is the Vinter. What are the pop-up numbers on the top? These? Population of townspeople and farmers? If that's what you're referencing. If it's not, let me know. And this is the bakery. I like how the bakery has its own windmill. Pretty hardcore, like milling their own grain. That is way more bakery than most bakeries would do. I feel like your job is mostly being a miller at that point, but, you know, whatever. I'm all for it. Alright, so it got prettied up there. One person wants to live in a denser neighborhood, the other one wants to be surrounded by trees. I can accommodate both. So here is the tree lover's nook. And then, as far as neighborhood goes, we'll stick a house here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to cut into the upgraded, road, because it will downgrade. 19%. That'll be fixed once I move a few more people in there. Yeah, I could always turn off over-drying roads. The thing is, I can just be careful about how I paint. There's other painting tools that I haven't yet to show. So one is that you can paint soils. So if I wanted like a dry, or let's do a sandy beachfront here. With some stone. Actually, maybe soft dirt. Soft dirt seems more reasonable for the area. There. So now we have what seems like it could be beach-like. Lends some realism. They want to live near with food shops nearby. That's pretty easy to satisfy because there's a lot of food shops here. In fact, boop, I'll move you upstairs. And you want to just move anywhere. See, those are the requests I can satisfy the most. Now that I am sitting on a decent amount of capital, I am actually going to upgrade my roads because the logistics are going to be important as going forwards. So we just managed to reduce the amount of transportation workers by 1. And then I want the road all the way up to the granary also upgraded. That's going to be important. I don't think I have enough money for all of that, but no, not quite. But as you can see, as a result of that new road, this farmer residence just got access to all of the food stalls down the way, whereas this one didn't. This one only has the winery and the bakery. I mean, it would keep me happy, but obviously they have slightly more sophisticated needs than me. You want trees, right? Stick a house like this. Once I can afford it. tree lovers and anyone. And this just got connected to to the cheese stall. So you can really see the benefit of the upgraded roads. I mean, the farmers are immediately benefiting. The other thing I could do is move the farming houses a little bit further down the hill. They don't need to be as high as they are. But I'm fine with paying for the upgrades. Nice. Oh, I just put another transportation worker out of work. RIP. So we went from 5 to 3. That's quite a difference of just some good roads. So 2 more people moving in. And I'm just so let's lean into the population boom, and then as we lean into the population boom, I'll be able to employ them in the research building. And we'll start to get research again, because we haven't really been researching anything for a bit. I'm going to choose to move the farms just a tad, which makes it a little weird because some of the outside decorations that were attached to the farm didn't come with it, because why would it, right? Also, the farm fields themselves look a little weird. So how about we repaint them? I'm just going to raise all the crops these farmers are making, which then is gonna. So I'm gonna pause the game because I'm obviously messing with the supply and demand of the winery and the bakery. So you guys will do grapes and wheat. Done. 100 grapes, 50 wheat. And then you guys will do wheat, corn. Sweet. That looks a little bit more natural, I think. So what are we getting out of them? We are getting 100 grapes, 52 wheat, 19 wheat, 126 corn. Works. Alright, as promised, we'll go back to research now. And we have a new request. I'm a winemaker from abroad on a here. This is good land for farming. It's my dream to have the biggest, greatest vineyard around. Here are some funds. Could you create my dream vineyard for me? Don't forget the grape stomping vat, cellar's tools, and everything else. Quest accepted. So plant a lot of grapes, have a big shed, and a water pump. So the big shed and the water pump are referencing research that I do not have unlocked. So if we open up the research tree, that is tier 2 farming. So let's unlock tier 2 farming. I've been able to do that for a while now. And we're going to want to get utility decorations next to be able to satisfy this request. And now we're starting to get regular research too. Alright, At our current size, we do not yet require house goods, so I don't really need to worry about that. But apparently our work decoration is pretty poor. A lot of the work decoration being poor is the lack of decorations around the food stands. There's a lot of people work around here. So I'm just going to flower up the center of town a bit. That ought to help a lot. There, you want lights? I hate that one, because the amount of lights that they require is, like, absurd. Okay. Another family. I think a well would make sense up here too, wouldn't it? And in the square, it would also make sense to have parasols or umbrellas, whatever. I like it. And maybe some benches. I already have 2 benches. They're not really being used very much, are they? Sit down, you overproductive people. Alright, that square feels more square-like. You want to live near water? I can accommodate that, I think. And we're starting to roll in actual money now. Like, I was definitely in poverty mechanics before, but now we actually have some income so that I don't need to nickel and dime everything, which is good. Alright, farm points. Utility deck. Done. So, stochastic, you still want your big shed and the water pump. Let's go to decorations, filter for farm. Give you a water pump, and give you a big shed. The greatest vineyard I've ever seen. Now, this is a vineyard I can create premium vintage wines in. The whole region will be associated with this. Since you were key in helping me, I'll let you choose the wine's brand name. Grape Expectations. Done and done. Order the labels made. Just don't drop off the G. As soon as the first batch is bottled next year, I'll send a cask of Grape Expectations to your office. And we gained money and farm points. Alright, with the added farm points, let's go ahead and get roses, cotton, beeswax for a hatter. And I'm starting to make the houses closer to the center of town larger. Oh, that's weird. Go. There we go. Wouldn't let me put them in for a second. Alright, research. For city research, we're up to 800. And I have, like, nothing to research. So what we need to do is we need to get to village soon, or I'm going to have research points I'm not going to be able to spend. Or up to, because we max out at 1,000. So, with that in mind, maybe I just reduce the amount of people working in the research, or I'll keep them all working in the research building and then turn off the research building when I top out at 800 or 1,000. So, a hatter. A hatter is another luxury thing. And in being a luxury thing, I'm going to put it up where the artisans are going to work. And if we want a hatter, I'm going to need to, once again, adjust the farming. So the bakery is only using 15, and the winery is only using 50. So I think what I want to do, so they don't have to keep repainting this over and over and over again, is to have one farm dedicated to basically just the wine and the bakery. So don't worry, Turtle, you're going to keep your vineyard. So there's 60, and I'm going to give it a little overhead so that if the farmer's residence becomes less happy, they can still produce what they need. 20, 28, let's even it out a bit, like 25 apiece. Here we go. And then the rest can just be grapes. Almost just for the aesthetic. Alright, so this farmer's residence is totally done. This one is going to switch over to the new crops for the hatter. So the hatter requires cotton, rose, and honey all in equal amounts. So we'll do 50 cotton, 50 rose, 50 honey. Come on, let me delete. I'm trying to have them be nice rows of them. So it's not perfect, but it's like close enough. I used all the lead. If they were a little bit happier, I would hit those numbers. Alright, the warehouse cannot support this, so add another warehouse worker. And then no crops being sent to this building. Activate. So now we have a hatter. A hatter is a luxury apparel. Actually, I don't even think it counts as apparel. It doesn't. It's just straight luxury. All right, my research building is totally full. Max research points, and there's nothing to spend my city research points on because we would need to upgrade to village tier. So that's my next big goal, is to have foster a population growth in order to upgrade to the next tier. So let's do some drill down analytics. Here's income per building. So the luxury buildings are obviously pretty expensive to run, but the homes are providing the tax base. Here's trait happiness, which is full for all the people that have trait happiness. Here's general happiness. I don't think my research building is all that pretty. I didn't add anything to it, so let's, before I forget, add some flowers around here, because it was, I had totally blanked once I built it, rebuilt it. There, we should pump those numbers up. Apparently, your home isn't very well decorated. I call baloney. That is a decorated home, my friend. Where is it least decorated? So it's not very decorated around the Hatter. Probably what, flowers? I mean, Hatter relies on honey, so flower pots make sense. In RimWorld, you wouldn't want trees around your windmill, but here, it does not matter. Alright, any other dark spots? We have a few over yonder. So for here, let's go ahead and add some pond beauty. Because it's not like the water could be used for anything else, at least not yet. Maybe later on in the early access, there'll be like boating and fishing and swan boats and paddle boats and all those sorts of things. But as you can see, a little bit of pond beauty, and the houses along the water are pretty again. Or pretty for the first time. There we go. Your house. Well, it's not even a house, that's the clother. Let's get you some love as well. Okay. Mostly fixed around town, I think. We have someone that wants to live near a cliff. Ooh. I don't know if they're going to get services living all the way out there, but we could try. I mean, they're asking for it. Luckily, the trait happiness will offset a lot of the losses from the lack of access to regular services. You know? Their isolation is of their own making, and as a result, they are a little bit less fussy about happiness. So if we put them in, for instance, and check their happiness once they're moving in, 81%. It's not great, but that trait happiness certainly helps to bump the numbers. I should have a bigger brush for sparse blinds. I mean, I could. I kind of like just like clicking. I mean, you know, you could brush them. Part of I think the charm of this game is that you have so much careful control over everything. Build it exactly how you want it. So, my stalls. They are completely at capacity, and I have 26 unemployed people. So, to that end, let's get some duplicates. I had designed this to accommodate duplicates. So we're essentially building like a food market. And now I've staffed all the stalls, and if we take a look at services provided, we've got, I mean, the mountain house has 4, but everywhere else is like 9. Basically, everywhere else has a high supply. Given the money that I currently have, let's go ahead and create a road out towards that mountain house. And that mountain house should... There it goes! It's now sporting a 9. It was just physically isolated enough that it couldn't access the surfaces, but now it can. Problem solved. And if you look at the happiness, yeah, everyone's basically 100% happy now. Farmers, what home decoration is a little lower here. So in fact, I would say it makes more sense to have farming-based decorations up near the farms. So the farmers are at 100%, and basically all the people are at 100%. There's a few houses that are a little less decorated than others, but generally speaking, we're sitting at 100. So here's another pond. Or, i.e., a mosquito nest. There we go. You want to live surrounded by flowers? I think I have flowers like literally everywhere, so I could put them probably in any house and it will satisfy their needs. 13%? Okay, let's flower up this place disgustingly. You shall not complain. And what's that trait now? 20%? Perfect. Alright. How are we doing? We should be, what, 6 people away from the... yeah? Or 11, rather? Getting pretty close. For farming points, I haven't really been paying attention here. Let's allow for general stockpile. Allows you to access your crops from any city. So that means that if I warp back to the other city, I still have my, like, crops menu accessible to me. The weirdo that lives in the forest? Yeah. That's some shots fired. There. They live in the forest, but they have an expensive road all the way out there. Because we have a mayor that cares. I don't even think that any of you are in that building. Who's in there? Nope. No viewers. Just the weirdo. We have 12 free people. I know that 10 of them are going to go back into the research bench as soon as we hit village levels. So I don't necessarily need to fill up every last person. You want to be near apparel. That is not a request I can satisfy easily. Yes, the mayor does live on the other side of the pond, completely unconnected to everything. I could move. Could live right at the train station. Yeah, I'll just do that. That way, if anyone bugs me, if anyone ding-dong ditches me at 3 in the morning, I just shove them into the tracks. You know? Live near trees. Okay, 2 more people. You want to live near a beehive. So in this case, I think I can accommodate this, interestingly enough, because all I need to do is to build like another townhouse down here. And then switch the farmer with the put the farmer up. Put one of the farming families down here, and then put the beehive lover up there. So I'll go ahead and do that. Because they don't have to be farmers. So there's a bunch of beehives here. So this farm family gets moved. And you get moved. And see, this is a 20% because this is all beehives. These are all skeps. Oh, all right, I was combining townsfolk. Okay, so we need a few more people. Because I need to accommodate the farmers as well. Or count them, rather. Nice, someone who is not picky. You get to live here. New leisure, research tree. Okay. So if we take a look at the research tree, the farm tree, we're working towards the next tier. I don't really need more granary workers. I don't care about setting hat colors. So I'm going to save my points. And then as far as the village tree goes, we have almost everything. So I'm just going to unlock what I don't have. We don't really need to vote on it because all of this is carried over from the last map. So one thing we didn't get last time was the ball throw. So another thing to note is the kiosk theater is high range, and it's leisure that has luxury. So I'm going to put it up where the artisans are going to live. But then the ball throw does not have luxury. So I'm going to put a ball throw. I might do multiple ball throws. I'll put one here and one here. And in this case, the kiosk literally got full, providing luxury for the entire town. And there's like no one left over to work in the ball throws. So I'm going to fire 2 of the research center workers. Oh, I guess 4 of them. And this is exactly what I was saying before, which is if you put like one of every building, you're just not going to have enough people. So now everyone has leisure. Everyone has access to the ball throws, and except for the farmers, and then the except for this house. This poor house has only got the kiosk, but still, I mean, pretty solid. The next tier is 180, and that's still townsfolk. So we're just going to be growing. To that end, I think what I'm going to do is plan on all the houses that I have initially built being tier 2. And then once they've outgrown the tier 2, then I'll start expanding up. Because there's a whole lot of room here that obviously could have folks living in it. And for now, I'm just saving up the farming points because we're just about to hit the next tier. Giving us pub. Haha, yeah. Everybody likes a good pub. Alright, instead of reworking my farms, I'm going to add a new farm for the pub. So I'm going to build a farmhouse here. And move the cliff lovers into it. And if we open up the research menu, we know the pub requires hops, potatoes, tomato, and lettuce. So I'm going to wait to start planting those specific things in this farming residence, rather than to set up the crops now. So basically these farmers are living without work at the moment, but that's not going to be true for very long. Really, you lost access to food. At some point, I might want to phase out the regular food stalls because they're just really hard to keep staffed for everyone to have access to them. As a stopgap, I could increase the speed at which they walk down these like side paths, but that only will go so far. At some point, you know, we'll hit diminishing returns and they'll lose access to it. The concept is that like basic stalls are good for low density, low population, but they don't scale up very well. All right, we have a cliff lover. Here you go. Do I have a bistro? No, I don't have a bistro here. Let's get a bistro too. Now this bistro, I'm going to have serve the people that live below, even though it's a Lux item. Because I plan on phasing out the, I plan on phasing out the food carts. So we're going to want to supply food in a more sophisticated way, like bistros. No, I have no money to upgrade. All right. So let's start doing that. One of the advantages of this is the services are going to be more evenly distributed amongst the city rather than the people living closest to the food marts, because the bistro, as you can see, offers services for everybody, not just those that live the closest, because it has a much greater capacity. All right, and soon we'll get pubs. So up here I'm going to sell the stuff. I'll leave the rocks, clearing space for the farm. So again, pubs is a mix of tomatoes, potatoes, lettuce, and hops. But I think it needs more hops than the other crops, if I am not mistaken. So these guys are making like roughly 30, 30, 30, 70. I think that's approximately what we're aiming for. So now we're just going to save up for the pub. And then the regular research tree, we can get extra warehouse workers. We're basically out of regular research. All that's left is the remove rocks. But I kind of like the aesthetic of the rocks. Like, I like the terrain restrictions of having rocks. So it feels weird to remove them a bit. Because it's like, oh, I have to work around something? Good. I've yet to decorate the bistro. Doesn't accommodate a lot of flour, does it? Thank you for tuning in to Town to City, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow villagers.